Hey guys, John Luxley here, back with our blind playthrough of Tacoma. Continue. So I looked up Fulbright, the company, a little bit before this, because I was curious about what they did. Because they mentioned, Minerva's Den and some other games and stuff, and I thought it was kind of interesting that, that they did mention that. So I was curious, and I looked. And I guess three of them... So the Fulbright company was founded, I guess, and then their first game was Gone Home. And then three of the employees that worked on Minerva's Den went on to work on, or to found Fulbright. So there you have it. That's basically it. So some of them did Gone Home, or some of them did Minerva's Den. They went on to make Gone Home, and now Tacoma. As far as I know, that's the most recent thing, but I suspect what typically happens is when they release a game like Tacoma for free, it's as a almost as an advertisement. They want to drum up interest in their next title, which I would assume is releasing soon, potentially this year. I just read the Wikipedia page. I didn't actually click on their company page because I figured it would, grab plate. I can't get the tea bag itself, huh? Grab tube? What is the tube? Chapped balm for lips. It actually, dries your lips out. That's what it does. It pulls moisture from inner layers to moisturize the outer layers.
When you look at a character's collection of books, like when you look at Sarah's books here in her office, I think that we tried to reinforce some of the themes or some of the characters' main concerns or interests or anxieties through what they had on their bookshelves. So with Sarah, she's a doctor, so she has health and nutrition and doctor stuff, but she also is a reader and a thoughtful person, so she has fiction and poetry, and she also has a lot of anxiety, so there's sort of both meditation and books specifically about dealing with anxiety, and she also comes from a Muslim background, and I think through the books you get the idea that she looks at her faith from almost like an academic perspective or an analytical perspective, and I think you can tell that almost exclusively through looking at what kinds of books she keeps in her personal spaces.
Additionally, we got to project some of our own likes and dislikes onto the characters, because, in order to fill out someone's library, it's pretty hard to keep everything completely on topic.
Right.
I believe Nina requested the William Carlos Williams book, and a couple others here and there.
And we have Alice Munro and
Margaret Atwood.
And Margaret Atwood.
And Deepness in the Sky is one of my favorites.
Well, that kind of ended abruptly, excuse me, with the coughing and the clearing of the throat and all that stuff. You know what I don't get, just as a so you have people of the social justice warrior perspective, that I really don't understand what's the push for supporting Islam all of a sudden, because a lot of them seem to be atheist, or at least anti-religion, anti-Christian especially, which, I don't care, but it seems like they're like, religion's bad. Oh, Islam's good. And then I just don't understand. I don't understand what the giant hard-on is for Islam. I mean, it would make sense if all the SJWs were secretly racist, and it was a way to, you know, label and minimize and dehumanize people into a, you know, oh, brown people, oh, those brown people are Muslim, okay, I support them, you know, like that would make sense, but surely that's not the case, right? Honestly, I don't know. I know enough people are different, and yet it's kind of like with emo people. You know, everyone that tries to rebel against the man ends up looking the same, and then hipsters the same way. They all try to rebel. Oh, everything, you know, I'm not mainstream, and yet they all look the same. And I don't know. Fulbright, I still love you, but you have to, if you're going to be a balanced voice in this, seriously, you have to understand that, like, you could be Muslim and that's fine. Like, what is it, Majid Nazawi? I don't remember exactly his name, but he's amazing. He's like a moderate Muslim that is pushing for almost like the New Testament for Islam. You know, getting rid of the old stuff, the beat your wife, the stone people to death, the cut off the hands, all that stuff. He's you know, I like him a lot. I've listened to a bunch of his stuff, and yet it's almost like admitting that current Islam has links to terrorism and extremism and violence, and especially it's very anti-woman, and yet I don't understand why these people that claim to be feminists and stuff can't admit that. It's like they can't separate the concept of a person that is Muslim from their beliefs, or from, I mean, get this, guys, you can be Muslim and not a brown person. I know, it's shocking, right? And also, you can be Muslim and not be a terrorist. You know? So, I don't know. You just need to... Look, if Fulbright is trying to be the humanitarian SJWs, I don't know if that makes any sense. But if they're trying to be progressive without being the crazy, insane people that say speech is violence and we should take away rights to ensure that everybody is fair, you know, if they're not trying to be those people, maybe they should not hang out in the same area. Or just denounce the crazy people. I don't know. I don't have an answer. But if this game shows anything, it shows that they're capable of nuance. Right? And so I hope, like, I'd actually be interested in talking to these guys. I'm not like one of those people that, like, this channel is not devoted to politics and stuff, but I have an interest in just talking with people. I probably won't, let's be clear, but you know, it would be interesting to talk to them, because they seem like they're not insane. You know, let's put it that way.
Tacoma Station went through this big overhaul partway through development. And the first version of the station was this microgravity station where everything floated, you know, there was no gravity whatsoever. And so it was designed as such. It was designed like the ISS, so that objects like the sinks in the toilets were to be used in microgravity. So, you know, when a user or a crew member was, you know, using them, they wouldn't spray water all over the place. They wouldn't float away when they were trying to actually, like, use the toilet, it would be an actual concern. And so they do look a little strange. They're kind of legacy objects in the grand scheme of things, in that they are some of the earliest models in the game. And the medical bed is another. Originally, it used to have little foot braces, and it still has the straps of back in the day when one of the first rooms we actually made in the old station was the doctor's room, Sarah's room. And so we added those details so that a patient wouldn't float away. So the straps are still there, and actually the toilet's got a reskin. But why we still kept those models in the game is just because, you know, when you're doing small independent developments, there's only so much bandwidth that you have, and the time it takes to actually redoing an entire model is not insubstantial, especially when there's only 1 or 2 full-time modelers on the crew. So we reskinned them and we kept them, and you know, it's one of those things where you got to pick your battles. And surely, I mean, I kind of like them, so it's you know, I'm not too worried about it.
All right. Whoa! Hey! Oh, that. There we go. Always dispose of your used latex. Oh, that's no good. That's no good. Oh my goodness. There, well, okay, whatever. It's on the floor. That's good enough. Right, okay, so I don't know about this. You can actually put in a password. I didn't see her go anywhere near this, but let's rewind. You know what? Let's rewind, because we're going to have to do that anyway. And right, we'll pause right here. Right, I want to find out about the skeleton.
You as a player might notice a few different references to Tina in the game. There's the screaming Tina that you might see on the specialty cocktails board in the kitchen.
Yes.
Which you then may later discover refers to the skeleton here in Med, that you can put the skull back on the skeleton and then put the hat on the skull, and the hat is labeled Tina, which means the skeleton's name is Tina. But all of this Tina nonsense is a reference to our next door office mate. The office that we made Tacoma in is in an old building with thin walls, and there was a company next door to ours that we would hear this woman screaming through the wall with some frequency, either because she was so angry or so amused by things.
Just shrieking, like, most of the time.
A lot of the time. Tina was very energetic.
Yeah.
So to be clear, her name wasn't Tina.
No. Steve just made it up at one point.
We were like, we always hear this woman screaming through the wall of our office. We have to be able to refer to her as something.
Rather than, like, go over and introduce ourselves and, you know, like, ask her what her name was, we were like, well, we'll just name this phenomenon Tina.
And part of that is because there were 2 women that worked in the office next door to ours. And so, since we only ever heard the screaming through the wall, we didn't know who in the office it actually was. And so, for years, we were conjecturing about which of the women in that office was Tina. And then they moved out, like, shortly before the end of the development of Tacoma. And one day, soon before they moved out, I heard Tina's voice screaming and saying, "Oh my fucking god!" over on one side of the office. And then Tina, on the other side of the office, respond with, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I realized it was both of them, and they both screamed like that all the time, and that's why we heard so much screaming over there.
Oh, wow.
Corporate culture of screaming.
So we wanted to pay homage to Tina in the game. We figured a screaming skeleton was probably a good way to do that. Thanks, Tina.
So you can find a skull. I saw a skull somewhere. And you could put the hat on the skull. What are you doing, Jack? So Jack was in my lap, but now he is not. Now he's rubbing against the... have you scheduled... He's rubbing against the microphone, so if you hear any weird, like, rubbing sounds, that would be him. See, he's doing it right now. Okay, healthy contractor reminders. Have you scheduled your quarterly medical bioscan? Your health won't wait. A minimum of 3 hours of exercise per week is quote-unquote encouraged. A stronger you means a stronger us. You know, now that I have insurance, there's the no smoking insurance bonus, right? Which basically means your insurance costs more if you smoke, which is interesting. And I could see a company like this doing it with exercise, especially if they're monitoring everything. And that's actually something, like, think about that for a second, right? These guys kind of touched on it like, oh my God, what are they doing with your data? Dude, I have actually thought about that stuff. What would they do with your data? And working in healthcare, it's interesting to see, like, I don't work in billing or anything like that, but I have some contact with it occasionally. And I could really see, like, well, you know, you didn't eat that, you didn't take those vitamins or whatever, so we're not going to pay for this thing. Or you didn't do this, and that's going to cost more now. Jack, what are you doing? Get in my lap, you silly cat. He threw up a little bit earlier, so, you know, that's just, he was, oh, here he goes, okay. Not throwing up, but he's going to lay down on top of the mouse. So, he's going to lay down on top of my hand, on top of the mouse. So if it's a little choppy with, like, little tiny movements like this, that's what's going to happen. You are what you eat. Be sure to review the current company dietary guidelines for your posting. Meeting company fitness and dietary target. Oh, there you go. Can earn you big loyalty point bonuses. Don't miss out. Contact your Ventura's contractor loyalty liaison for details. Yep. Company fitness and dietary targets. Now, what if the dietary stuff is wrong? Right? Because we are told, oh, you know, if you're fat and you want to cut down on your fatness, you need to eat low-fat stuff. Because if you eat fat, it makes you fat. And that's backwards. It's exactly backwards. You know, low-fat stuff, it tastes like shit, and so they have to put sugar in to balance it out. But you notice, I mean, you could just observe nature, right? You notice the herbivores are always the fat ones, and the carnivores are always the skinny ones. And people are like, oh no, it's because they're running. You know, the lions always have to run. It's like, yeah, but so do the herbivores, otherwise they get eaten. In fact, the herbivores have to run faster. Think about it. Think about it. And that's what people have been told for 20 years. Oh, make sure you eat your carbs. You know, reduce your fat intake. And yet, obesity gets worse and worse. Now imagine if you were monetarily penalized. Oh, you didn't eat your carbs. You didn't eat your fat-free stuff, like Greek yogurt. Did you actually have... If you look at the sugar in it. Like, seriously, it's more sugar than regular yogurt. Probably because of the protein. The protein tastes like shit. But, you know, just a thought. Just a thought. All right, so let's listen to this.
So this is medical. So it has facilities like exam room, but it also has, you know, kind of storage for med supplies and any device that would be needed to check in on people medically. Very early on, the design of this space came from the story as it was at the time. So the story was written where Sarah and Andrew went through kind of a dramatic arc here, and that dramatic arc had moments, and those moments built so that the place was designed around making those moments happen in a very specific order. So what happened is we did that. We made a space where you're watching the AR scene and Sarah goes off into a room, but the room is locked, and you can't get through the locked door until you go watch another part of the scene and get a key to unlock it. And to build that and to make them walk a certain way and go off in a certain area, building the space to the AR scene ended up with this very awkward space. So we ended up scrapping that, but it did take trying it to go, let's design a space to the AR scene. And where we ended up was much more functional to the, the purpose of the wing and who would work there and who would live there and how would they live and how would they work.
And I really like that sort of a neat outcome of having the AR scene blocked out in a space that already existed specifically in this wing in medical, is that you have moments like sort of later in the scene when Nat and Bert are, having their little like flirtatious moment where Nat jumps onto Bert, she sort of like tackle hugs her. Mm-hmm. There's this interesting outcome where that happens in one room, and then it just so happens that Sarah's office is literally on the other side of the wall. So if you stand in Sarah's office and are standing sort of next to Sarah when Nat tackle hugs Bert, you can hear that through the wall. And Sarah and Andrew actually do react to that in the scene. And I thought that's like kind of a fun outcome. Like, we didn't plan that. That's just kind of how the AR scene ended up playing out based on how the space is laid out.
Oh, is that the noise at the very end they react to? Okay, that makes sense. Medical storage. Oh, I see. Okay, here's the key. Secure medical storage, physician access only, physical locking device engaged. Grab bottle. What is this? Effective pain relief. Oh, is it narcotics? 650 milligrams, 100 caplets. Probably not. What is it? Paraprol. So it doesn't say... Paraprol is the... You ever notice that they have trade names? So, like, Tylenol is a trade name. It's a brand. The actual name is acetaminophen. And then we have anti-allergy caplets, pain relief, sinus aid. That looks almost exactly like... I don't even remember what it's called anymore. It was banned because of the whole meth thing. Pseudoephedrine, maybe? And this is nausea. Yeah, Emetrin. That makes sense. CTM, right? Relieves nausea due to microgravity. So it could be something orange cream. Oh, that's good. Chewables. There you go. Probably not Phenergan. Or, was it Dramamine? Because it makes you feel drunk. Yep, see, Jack is on my hand now a little bit. Well, let's grab the key. I don't know what the point of the key is to be... Oh, of course. Supply locker. There you go. Jack, baby. Oh, it's at the floor. See, that's awkward. It's not ergonomic at all. And then this is probably medicine bottle, allergy spray or something. In aqueous suspension, nasal spray. Yeah, I think I picked up one of those earlier. Papers. Ventura settles with family of spaceport victim. Oh, this must be what's her name. Like, lengthy independent investigation in court case. Ventura's corporation has reached a settlement with the family of Jane Jeremiah Pratt, who died during surgery for a fractured femur following an accident aboard Ventura's Foundation of Paradise spaceport, September 2nd, 2085. Value of the settlement was undisclosed. As part of the settlement's terms, Venturis admitted no wrongdoing in the death of Mr. Pratt. Yes, I would not take responsibility because that means the family could sue you. But that's what malpractice insurance is for. And let's be honest, if a patient dies on the table, it's not... That's part of the risk, especially emergency surgery. It's like you do what you can, but it doesn't always work out. However, significant public relations damage was already done by the incident. While OSEP's independent investigation was inconclusive, the attending surgeon at the time of Mr. Pratt's death, Dr. Sarah, testified during multiple hearings that fault lay not in human error, but in the faulty judgment of Ventura's medical AI, HICA. Following these claims and the lack of refutation by OSEP investigation, investor confidence in the reliability of Ventura's AI offerings declined sharply and hasn't fully recovered since. Dr. Hasmati was transferred off of the Fountain of Paradise spaceport shortly after the hearings began. Mr. Pratt was a popular travel and food writer, bringing his death and the subsequent hearings surrounding it added attention from the public. Both the Venturas Corporation and Mr. Pratt's family declined to comment for the story. Let me just look over that again. Attending surgeon at the time, testified during multiple hearings. That's interesting, right? So they sued. Typically what happens is the hospital will sue before getting into court, as I understand it. They don't want it to go to court because court is fucking expensive. And if you're going to sue, well, or if you're going to settle, I'm sorry. If you're going to settle, you're going to settle anyway. So you don't let it get to court. You settle before it gets to court. You know, and that's typically what people want. So it's a little... I mean, I get it. They're trying to dramatic it up. Oh, there's the skull. Okay, and Jack is on my hand, but that's okay. He's adorable. Alright, time to reassemble Tina. Oh, so happy. Boom. Where's the hat? There was a hat somewhere, right? Nope. The Cat in the Hat. Do 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 do. Mana mana. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. You know what's really weird is that so that's known for being like Sesame or not Sesame Street, the Muppets, right? You know where that was originally taken from? You will never guess if you don't know. I'll give you a second to respond or think about it. If you guessed a Swedish porn, you would be correct. How the theme song for a Swedish porn ended up as something known in the Muppets. I have no idea. No idea. How did I find that out? I have no idea either. I really don't know, actually. I'm not trying to be cute. It's like a 70s porn, too, I think. Like, it's super old. Maybe sick. When did they start producing porn? I don't even know. Since a long time ago, I would imagine. The 40s? Maybe earlier? Whenever photography was invented, probably since then.
So this is one of the areas that you get into by using a physical key, which is only a couple of in the game. But there's a few different ways that we lock off information. There's physical keys and there's key code doors, and sometimes there's just stuff that's harder to find because of where it's placed. Because there is this hierarchy of accessibility or findability of space, we also tend to map that towards kind of the deeper or more obscure,
more ancillary, less central, I guess.
Right. Less central, but hopefully more valuable to people who are looking to find all of the detail in the game, right? Like, the thing you're doing as a designer is you have this contract with the player that says, like, if you follow us through all of these prompts, if you see a key, it's saying you can go use it, and if you go use it, you'll get something that made you happy that you actually bothered. And if we
waste your time,
and if we waste your time and say, like, haha, there was nothing in there, or you were like, well, I already knew that, why did I go to all this trouble, then, like, the next time you see a key, you're not going to want to use it. And then we've lost someone who otherwise might want to actually engage with all this stuff that we put in front of you.
Yeah, we want to safeguard the player's goodwill and interest
and value the time that they're putting into the game, you know, and the effort that they're putting into the game.
It's a fun challenge sometimes to make something that is juicy enough to be like, oh, I am glad I found that, but that is not, you know, what the character specifically hangs on.
See, this is what I'm talking about. These guys know what they're doing. They put so much thought into each little thing, and they have the basics down. They understand. You know, I mean, granted, this, okay, whatever. You can't research everything or know how it really goes. I mean, conceivably, it could go. You know, the what is it? The family could be like, no, we don't want money, we want justice, right? And then the company's like, well, we're not going to admit wrongdoing. We refuse to take responsibility. The company's like, well, okay, we're going to court then, because we have money and we will burn it to burn you down. And then the doctor, you know, Sarah, she goes out and she's like, it wasn't me, it was the AI wasn't responsive. And I mean, you're testifying under oath, and the prosecutor or the litigator, I don't know, because it's probably civil court, not criminal court, I would imagine. Even though a death is involved, which is, you know, whatever. Maybe it would become a criminal thing if negligence was found. I don't know how that all works. I'm not a lawyer, but. Yeah, I mean, it's conceivable. It's conceivable. I'm changing my opinion as I think more about it. But yeah, she's like, yeah, I told him about it, and they didn't do anything. By the way, that's how these things always go. You know, the peons are like, hey, higher ups, this thing is an issue. It could kill somebody someday, and they're like, you know, that'll cost like money, and. You know, we'll talk about it next quarter. We just don't have it in the budget for now. And you're like, but it could kill somebody. It needs to be fixed now, right? And then they just keep putting it off and putting it off. And finally somebody dies. And only then are they like, oh, well, okay, I guess that does get fixed. It's, you know, you see it all the time in the media and stuff, right? You're like, such and such plant accident. How could this have happened? Didn't anybody know? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, people knew. I guarantee. They told their higher ups, and the higher ups didn't think it was important enough to fix until it happened. You know, so that's unfortunately how these things work. You know. So, yep. Oh, what is this? What is this? Skybox visual design.
So, about the visual design, I feel like a lot of the design came from, you know, the art side.
Yeah. Well, Rebecca Mock gave us the concept art. Rebecca's a great concept artist, and she does comics as well, and does illustrations for editorial work. The exterior of the station was one of her designs, and basically I was very lucky because I just got to look at her work and try and replicate it, or translate it, you know, in so much as, you know, she's used to drawing in a 2D way, and I have to translate that into this crazy 3D model. But yeah,
it's really cool.
The biggest model I worked with, and probably the most. I came back to it for the most revisions over the course of about a year or so, and yeah, no, it's a big one. At the end, I was like, okay, you know, it's a little overwhelming, but you know, seeing it now moving and whatnot and all hooked up, it's pretty cool.
It is cool. It's pretty amazing. You know, the detail is pretty outstanding. And I believe they said the model was full size. So that's awesome. All right, so we found that we could let this thing play, but let's keep exploring. You know what? Let's let it play. We'll get this taken care of first.
Once more into the breach. What?
I don't know.
I'm just thinking about how Evie and...
Wait. Is this, Oh, hey, that's... Oh, hang on. That's cool. This is awesome. I mean, it's AR, right? It's not like an actual sign. It's augmented reality. So it totally makes sense that you could see it from one side. You know, like, it doesn't actually... the sign's not really here. If you pulled off the little things that we have behind our ears, this would disappear. Right? So it makes total sense that you switch to this other side and it's a different sign. Although it brings up the point, if it's something that sticks behind our ears, how does it know? Like, how do we see it then? Unless it's like somehow tapping into our, you know, brain or something. Anyway.
5 are already in deep freeze. Did you read the message they sent?
Yeah. Why are we going into the supply closet?
I got to talk to them a little bit right before Sarah took them down to cryo, and Evie was being so encouraging. They're putting all their faith in us, but...
But what?
Right before they turned to go, just for a second.
Wait, hang on. Crap. Yep. Okay, Andrew's coming in. Does he do anything? Okay. Is this... No. Dear Mark and Nicholas, I don't know how to say this, but... Blank. Accident on the station. If you're reading this, we weren't able to survive it. And I'm sorry, Nicholas. Does that mean they didn't survive because I'm here? I'm sorry I won't be able to see you grow up to be the amazing man I already see you becoming. Mark, I'm sorry I won't be there to hold your hand as we grow old together, but I cheated on you. Don't forget me. I know that I loved you more than I'm sorry, Odin. I can't do this right now. I'll finish this later. Stop dictation. Yeah. Actually, this kind of reminds me of... I don't remember. It was a game with like a girl that was dying, and she left you messages after she died. Sorry if I hit the boom with my mic, with my hand. And it's like she's recording like a positive message, and then she like breaks down, and then she resumes it. What is it, Kana, Little Sister? It's a porn game, but it is so much more than that. Like, the porn is... It's one of those games where you're like, give me the story. Oh, they're having sex. Whatever, I don't care. Skip that. Skip it. Get back to the story part of it. You know, it's that. It's so touching. I mean, it's really bad that porn makes you feel like that. But to be fair, it was a visual novel, so that's kind of like this. It's walking simulator visual novels. They're both, generally speaking, not considered games by the public or by the gaming mass of people, whatever you want. the general gaming public, whatever. Okay. The drone was never meant to support human life. There's no air supply system, no onboard controls, not enough radiation shielding for human passengers. That's not realistic. Okay, no air supply. That's potential, right? You might need to have some sort of pressure, which air would give. No onboard controls, that makes sense. Except if it's doing atmospheric re-entry. Supposedly you lose, like, there's too much interference as you're going through the atmosphere. There's not enough radiation shielding for human passengers. You might be transporting food and organic stuff, so you'd want to have radiation shielding. I'm gonna have to figure out where to scavenge all that stuff from Tacoma in a way that won't break the station. I hope I can retrofit the drone to support human life long enough for me to manually pilot the 6 of us from Tacoma to the moon. So I really need to get back to it. Sorry, thanks for buying us a few more hours of oxygen with that algae thing, Andrew. Dear crew, I would rather not be writing this. Clive and I, blank. Not why I wish we weren't signing these words. It's because because above all, I believe in this crew. I wish we could be there to see you succeed in this. We have the right people to make our plan a reality. We will breathe fresh air again. We will see our families again. We will feel the Earth's pull again together. Now Clive and I will do our part and settle into cryo. Soon Andrew will join us. Sarah, Bert, and Nat, we're all counting on you. Probably now. Blank blank. Couldn't be in better hands. With loving gratitude, Eve and Clive. That's a pretty good little speech. Andrew, blank information you requested. While Ventura strives to ensure the safety of each contractor, occasionally accidents do happen. In the case that a contractor dies, oof, yeah. That's something you'd want to know, though. Transport of remains and funeral arrangements are paid for by Venturis. Loyalty and any additional Venturis accident insurance the contractor has invested are immediately transferred to the contractor's specified beneficiary. Now, I wonder if, because he invested with that moon project that got royally screwed, if he dies, does he get that back? Compound loyalty continues to accrue blank, blank, blank contract term, probably until the end of the agreed upon contract term. So it's like he's still working. Stay safe up there, and blank. It is everyone's job to keep contractors and employees safe. Right. Let's
For me? I will tell her that you are here.
Right. Okay, so he just walks in. Is she ready?
For a second, you look so worried.
Well, yes. That is understandable. Because they're putting their faith in you. Man, I'm sorry. I have this cold. It's just not going away. No, it makes sense they'd be worried. You know? They have faith in you guys, but it's still... My favorite quote from Farscape was something like, "Fear exists for the possibility of death. Calm shepherds its certainty." Which is... it's just amazing. It means... fear, you know, you feel fear when you know there's a possibility of dying, but also that there's not. Or there's a possibility that you won't die. But if you're calm and you're doing something that could result in your death, you believe you're going to get killed. So it's like, oh, you know, I'm doing this thing. I should be afraid, but I'm calm. It's like, yeah, you know you're going to die. And you've accepted that. So for them, there's still a chance. Everyone still could come out of this. And we still don't know. You know, we've gotten some spoilers, but we still don't know the outcome. I suspect everybody... potentially everybody's dead. We don't know. We're going to find out, I imagine.
Oh, baby.
The clock is ticking. And I just keep thinking, what if the last time they saw each other is the last time they saw each other?
Don't think about that.
How can I? How can you not think about it?
Methamphetamines. That's
So,
how.
You know the concept of partitioning from early century computing.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, hey, I'm going to give you a PowerPoint presentation right here. Okay. Oh, that's great. Okay.
So
you have a data drive. Maybe one partition was your operating system. And
She was holding something there for a second. She's like clicking the little clicker. She's like, I'm advancing the PowerPoint. Now, if you see on slide 34 right here.
It was like general data storage. And maybe you'd partition part of the drive off to contain something that might be unstable that you otherwise kind of, wanted not to interfere with anything else. there are certain things that are gonna help us get this done, but some things, they need to be partitioned off. Because thinking about them isn't gonna help us.
But you're thinking about us, at least, aren't you?
Yeah. And when I do let myself start thinking about how there's a possibility this is the last of our time together too,
Nat?
then I start thinking we should really make the most of it.
Oh. But see, the problem with that is it uses up more oxygen, right? Because it increases your heart rate. So you're killing everybody right now. OMG. Reminds me of that old joke. It's not that old. How do you view lesbians? Oh, well, in HD, of course. Right. You get it? You get it? I know, it's terrible. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Really? There's that many in here? That can't be right. Space captured 3 months ago. Let's see if there's more hidden messages. Crew record, data. Oh, hang on. We gotta record this thingamabob. So there's 1, 2. Just 2? That can't be right. We must have missed some. 3. Okay, we had to have missed 1 somewhere. Okay, what is this? J.J. Pratt's Image Life followers 2.4 million. Oh yeah, this feed maintained in... Oh, this is the one that she killed. Or, you know. Celebrating my last night on terra firma for a while. Love you, Charlene. This is that guy, huh? He looks like, what's his name? I don't know. Singapore, the ultimate hangover food. That looks really good. What is that? Okay, I mean, it's like a grilled cheese, but I don't know if it's cheese in the middle. And that looks like some kind of not juice, but like butter, oil, something like that. I mean, it could just be fancy grilled cheese. That's a possibility. I was in Japan once, and I wanted to make the most of it while I was there. So we went to... I don't remember what this place was. It might have been Nara, the deer park. Something like that. There was this local restaurant that was known for dishes with kudzu, which is like a type of invasive vine. So it's like a plant that will kill off other plants. And so the response is like, how can humans eat it? Which is a great idea. And so you had all these dishes with kudzu, and I got like a little sampler tray. And it was good, actually, but, when you're faced with something interesting and never before tasted like that, you eat it, or you take a bite, and then, at least for me, I have to kind of sit there for a minute or two and let my stomach kind of calm down. But it was good. There was one that was like a kudzu-covered shrimp, and it was covered with what looked like sprinkles. Like, it was kind of neat, and it tasted like a Cheeto, which was really unexpected. It was like shrimp jerky with kudzu or something, and I don't even know what it was, but it was like 9 different little dishes. It was kind of neat. You know what? Let me photo kudzu Tacoma. What is this? The 6th episode? Minute 50. I'll try and put a photo in if I remember. I made myself a little note. If I can find it, I will attempt to put it in. And on my way up, never thought I'd see Earth from this height. That is a great question. How do you get to... Oh, that must be the space elevator. Oh, hang on. Okay. Unfortunately, the information you have requested is defined as classified by Ventura, so I'm unable to transmit it to you. I wish I could. I'm sorry, Sarah. It's okay. You don't have to apologize. I know you have your rules you have to follow. I wonder if Nat could get at it. Why would you say that? I cannot prevent you from approaching Natalie about this issue. I can advise you that doing so would violate the terms of her security clearance. Yes. Is that why Natalie was trying to get access to Odin? Egg a day. Oh, okay. She's obsessed with this dude. Which is... thank you again to all my eggheads who have flagged me in their loyalty affiliate programs this month. Flag me today to join up and receive premium content like this. Day 1, every week. I can tell you that doctors, surgeons especially, have enough deaths that it doesn't bother them. You know? And especially the bad ones. Yeah. That's not good. By the way, if you need a surgeon, try and get one in their 40s or 50s. You know, old enough to have some experience, but not too old to the point where they start to deteriorate and be stuck in their ways and stuff like that. I mean, you know, middle-aged, not young, but not old either. Just that's my personal recommendation to you guys. And that goes for probably doctors in general, to be honest. Unless it's something like super rare, which, you know, probably you don't have, in which case you want to get a young guy because they're fresh out of school and they know all that weird, random, obscure diseases. You know. And plus everything is a zebra. Whenever they hear hooves, it's a zebra. It's not a horse for them. So you might be able to find, you know, it's like that medical mystery TV show that they used to have. They might still have it. I don't know. But it's like the people that have been sick for 10 years and they don't know what's going on. And finally they go to one doctor that figures out they have some super rare form of something. If you have something and you're going to a ton of different doctors and no one can figure out what it is, maybe a young doctor would be able to help you find it. I don't know. I haven't seen that myself, but maybe you guys will have some luck. Excuse me. All right. Yeah, first ever trip up the space elevator to the Fountain of Paradise tomorrow. Glitz, glamour, the 0G. It's going to be incredible, and all thanks to you, my loyal supporters. But first, I spent a day in the hustle and bustle of Spaceport City, the lively jumble of improvised bungalows, gray market vendors, and of course those famous Singaporean food stalls. Actually, I had a thought, right? Because she was talking to Odin about creating a persona of someone, right? And how it didn't work out. And she's obsessed with this dude. Was she asking Odin to do something like that? Like, just create him. I want to apologize to him. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. So if that is legit, what actually is that conversation was about, holy shit, that is amazing, Fulbright. If you actually did that, you guys are awesome. If you didn't, don't say anything, though. Just be like, yeah, that was totally intentional. Totally intentional. Okay, Singaporean food stalls surround the space elevator's spectacular base tower. One last egg a day before I lift off from terra firma. Here we go. Kaya toast at Kaya Best Kopi House. While toast takes the center stage in this classic Singaporean street food's name, the real star of the show is the pair of perfectly runny, half-boiled eggs drizzled with blank, slather blank, and more good egg, then dipped liberally in the soft... Okay, so maybe that is like a grilled cheese, but it's like an egg... like a grilled egg sandwich. Like, you know, you got your buttered bread and then maybe like a little egg thing in the middle, and you dip in, I guess that could be butter. Could be butter, but it's looks like maybe more like a infused olive oil or something. Or infused coconut oil or something. Because this is whatever that stuff is. The liquid. The liquid is like the melted form of this. It's not butter. I don't know. No, on another facility. Like if she was malfunctioning or if there had been anything wrong with her that people might not have known about. I could try looking in VT's tech error ticket backlog for any hits. Okay, Fountain of Paradise Medical AI about 3 years ago. Yeah, she's obsessed. Which is understandable. I freely admit. Okay, so we're going to watch this scene real fast, and then we're probably going to stop. Okay, we did watch that scene to its conclusion. So let's watch this scene, and then we still have 4 of those to find, and 3 in here. 3 in here, and another 4th that we missed somewhere. Post-workout playlist 3. Nailed it. She's just chilling. With love. Dear Sarah, we're thinking of you during this Ramadan, and I hope you're celebrating in your own way up there as well. Please give yourself permission to relax every once in a while during your posting. We love you, Mom and Dad. Well, if you were concerned about her being a, what is that? I kind of like this music. This is going to get me content flagged, but it's okay. Personal AR yoga instructor. Oh. Let's see. Deep waters in the heavens, thunderclouds approaching from the west, but no rain yet. The superior person nourishes himself and remains of good cheer to condition himself for the moment of truth. Great success if you sincerely keep to your course. You may cross to the far shore, changing line 1 to hex 48, the well. I assume that is maybe the Quran. I have the Quran as a... because I'm interested in, like, religion as a, you know, from an academic perspective, but I haven't read any of it. Oh, no, maybe it's this. The I Ching. I have a pocket copy of the Chow. Of the Tao, not the Chow. Many subtle forces swirl around us in our daily lives, but with the help of the I Ching, they can be understood, even turned to your advantage. So is she deconverting from Islam? That's the question. The more you learn, because this is Taoism. The more you learn about the Oracle, the more intriguing the system for understanding. Gidre Zhu has spent more than a decade studying, or Ji, I don't know how you pronounce that, has more than a decade studying the wisdom of the I Ching. Her new translation is fresh, while retaining the weight and authority of the original text. Her commentary gives invaluable insight. That's something that's really hard, localizing and stuff. That's kind of neat. That's in almost a almost like a Japanese woodblock style. Right? So we have Downward Dog, Warrior 2, right? Crow Pose, Side Split. I have never done that. That looks hard. Jesus, never did that either. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Yoga's hard, actually, if you've ever done it. You think it wouldn't be. You'd be like, oh, that's just, that's easy. I could do that. And then you actually do it and you're like, whoa, okay. Because it's like the weight of your body. It's almost like doing push-ups. You know, where the weight of your body is the resistance. That's how that works. Okay, let's stop here. I have talked a lot. You know what? Let's run around real fast. We'll see if we can find the fourth one. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Which one are we missing? Designing AR desktops, Sarah's background, roles of AI, and what was the fourth? Gene filtering and cryo. That's probably... I mean, I would assume it's over here. How did I miss that? Okay, well, right, because we didn't find that. What is... Passcode required. So it is a 4. But we haven't found any sort of a computer to put this other one in. This other passcode. Bioscan record pin updated. Reminder phrase. Oh, graduation. When did she graduate? 2080? We could try 2080. Two, 0, 8, 0. Okay, we will stop here. See? I knew I could figure it out. Graduation, I assumed it was like... I mean, I read reminder phrase, but I was like, oh, that's the password. Alright, well that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys are enjoying these episodes. I'm enjoying them a lot, actually. And more, like way, way more than I thought I would. Because I thought, well, to be fair, I didn't know anything about Tacoma. And then I did a very little amount of research where it's like, Tacoma, brought to you by the people that did Gone Home. And I'm like... oh, okay. And then the first couple episodes, I was like, I'm seeing this stuff that's propaganda and agenda pushing. And it still is. You know, none of what I've talked about since then invalidates statements that I've made in the past. Right? But the Fulbright team does seem capable of nuance. Which is an unexpected pleasure, I have to say. So hopefully, you know, if seriously, devs, if you guys ever watch these videos, you're doing a good job. You really are. Try not to go full SJW crazy, though. Just please, you know. Man, I hope this cold goes away soon. I'm just all congested. So, what is your guys' unique positive moment for today? For me, this is going to sound terrible, but I picked up these sunflower seeds, and they are Taco Bell flavored. They're Taco Supreme Taco Bell flavored. They're okay. They're okay, and I expected they'd be okay, but I picked them up because I wanted to try them. Even if they were terrible, for me, it's trying new things. It's the experience. It's, you know, variety is the spice of life, right? Broadening one's horizons. So that's my unique positive moment for today. Hopefully your guys is just as good, if not better. Hopefully better, of course. And I hope to see you guys next time. Probably, geez, how many more episodes of this? I don't know. Probably 3 or 4. Because we still have a whole nother hub, and then there's the cryo hub potentially. So potentially 2 more hubs. I don't know. We seem to be doing 2 episodes per hub. So we're at the end of this one, and then we'll move on. But yeah, I hope to see you guys next time. Until then, guys, take care.